Well, if you notice, many modern cars don't have traditional handbrakes. The ones that they either pull up or the American cars would just step on them and they automatically stop and lock in. But the digital age, you can see the electronic parking brakes are now electronic. And you wonder why. Everything's becoming so computerized. Electronic braking systems is an electric switch with two little motors, one for each side to pull a lot. And here's the key. They're inside with all that water that goes from snow or other puddles of water, and the water can go flying around, but often it kind of shorts out. The last thing you want in an emergency brake is have been shorting out to merge when it, we also need a physical backup just in case if all the electronics short out into these electric braking systems because of all that water damage. That's why wires and water don't mix, because obviously everything that water comes its way, it can all short out, and well, obviously you're going to be stuck in a situation where the faulty wirings can short out the whole thing and also set up the actual button itself, and your car will just automatically stop. So imagine if you're in the middle of a highway, in the middle of a lane, and your emergency electronic brake system is now on and your car automatically stops. You have all these cars going 70 miles an hour in that same lane. Well, guess what? Right there. And that can actually cause a lot of damage because these things are very complex. Electronic brake systems for the electronics, they're very, very expensive. They cost a big fortune because it's all computer modifications, replacing the whole computer system to the brake system, and it's not good for an emergency as you pull. The motor automatically, when you get it, with a hand, you can do a little, like it's still a mechanical thing. Emergency braking is only used in emergencies only. If electronic control in this part, it can be a regular braking system. For example, I have a 2022 Subaru Outback Wilderness that has those things. Kind of that's one default I don't like about the car. These electronic emergency parking systems, those things often kind of short out when it gets exposed to water, or they're turning on automatically because of faulty wiring process. That's why, if you guys have been watching, I've been actually doing a lot of research. Jeep Cherokees have a recall, and there's been a probe by the government that's to look at Jeeps. So Jeep kind of recalled 1.34 million Jeep Cherokees just because of these faulty shortages of their electronic braking systems. They tend to short out and they kind of just stall in the middle of the road. And well, like I said, I remember that same thing where I said you're in the middle of the highway and smack, because those things don't work. And if you have a car that does that, well, it's going to be very expensive to replace. That's why don't buy cars with those electronic braking systems. They just tend to be a piece of crap, and they don't work. They tend to turn on every time they have a faulty wiring because it's all connected to that computer. So it's been around for like a few years, for example. So what kind of moron will think, well, instead of just having these crank systems, we can just do it as a button? So what kind of moron who thought about that, It's very dangerous. Don't buy this trend thing. It's very dangerous. It can harm your life if you buy one of those cars that have electronic brake systems. They're only meant for emergencies only. You only pull those things up for emergencies. Don't buy those electronic parking system buttons because it senses the computer and all the problems that can go wrong with it. Don't buy those. And that's, well, like I said, I'm going to close out this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any car questions, I will happily answer them for a future video. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.